Is our local Barrie and Simcoe County housing market finally turning a corner, or are we in for some more surprises? We're breaking down how national trends in inflation, interest rates, consumer confidence, and housing supply are playing out right here in Barrie and Simcoe County. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the Bank of Canada rate cuts are delayed and what this means specifically for your mortgage, your rent, and your housing plans in our local market. My name is Keith, and as your local realtor here in Barrie and Simcoe County, I'm committed to bringing you all the information that you need so that you can make smart and informed decisions. What happened? No more rate cuts this summer from the Bank of Canada? Nationally, June's labor force survey showed surprising strength, adding 83,000 jobs. This is an extremely big shock because economists were predicting only 20,000 jobs to be added. Because of the increase in jobs, we saw unemployment tick down to 6.9%. This is a key reason the Bank of Canada is going to be holding steady. However, we're seeing conflicting headlines even here in Ontario about college layoffs and government job cuts. This puzzling disconnect means that while the national picture looks robust, many local residents might be feeling uncertain about job security, impacting their spending and household decisions. Next, we're going to look at the latest inflation numbers. National annual inflation in June was 1.9%, but that would have been much higher at 2.6% if not for the carve out of the carbon tax. And core measures of inflation, which the Bank of Canada watches very closely, are bumping up to 3%. This broadening of inflationary pressure means that the Bank of Canada isn't ready to cut rates yet. For us in Barrie, this means that the cost of living pressures aren't easing as quickly as we'd hoped, and this high interest rate environment is likely to persist for longer. Is the mortgage renewal cliff coming for Barrie? Nationally, the bellwether 5-year bond yield is over 3%, pushing fixed mortgage rates into the low fours. For Barrie and Simcoe County residents, this means if you're looking for a new mortgage or a renewal, you're likely paying a higher fixed rate than you would have a few months ago. The mortgage renewals that are upcoming is something to keep an eye on, as this is going to continue to slow consumer spending because more money each month will be going towards mortgage payments. Unfortunately, this trend is only likely to continue because, as you can see, the mortgages that are coming up for renewal were locked in at lower rates. This applies to both fixed rate mortgages and static variable mortgages. If you do have a mortgage that's coming up for renewal, reach out to us and we can connect you to one of our many talented partners who can help you navigate this tricky situation. Rental prices are falling, home prices are falling. Is this going to be a long-term trend or are things going to turn around? National housing starts are still strong. However, when we look into the numbers, this is driven almost entirely by new rental construction. With a massive 170,000 rental units under construction and the government slowing temporary residency intake, vacancies are on the rise, which is pushing rents lower. Specifically Barrie, which has seen one-bedroom rental units fall 2.1% year over year, and two-bedroom units fall 5.4% year over year. This means new rental buildings in Barrie will take longer to fill, and existing landlords are going to be facing more competition. This is putting the government in a bit of a conundrum. The new rental construction, backed almost exclusively by CMHC, is what's keeping the current construction industry afloat. That sector makes up almost 8% of our entire workforce. So if they pull back on the rental construction, we could see unemployment rise higher. CMHC is starting to get a bit cautious about the rental development. Recently, they doubled the insurance premiums required. Now looking at the condo market. Toronto's pre-construction condo market has hit 30-year lows with only 502 sales in Q2. We are also seeing the condo resale market hitting 30-year lows, which is having a ripple effect on move-up buyers. because the buyers who would buy a townhouse or detached home are no longer able to sell their condo and move up. And this isn't only affecting condos. Single family permits in Ontario are at a 40-year low. While we're in an incredibly strong buyer's market right now, the lack of new construction is sowing the seeds for the next bull market in Canadian real estate in the next 5-ish years. On a bit of a side note, if you are an investor in Barrie or Simcoe County and you have a single family home that you've turned into either a duplex or a triplex, it might be a good idea to start thinking about how you can convert it back to a single family unit, as that will probably demand a higher value in the coming years. And finally, today, we're going to look at consumer sentiment and future plans for spending. National consumer confidence is up from March lows, however, remains at levels seen during the worst of the financial crisis. This sentiment is certainly true here in Barrie and Simcoe County. A rising share of Canadians are planning to cut spending due to rising interest rates. With household consumption at record highs as a percentage of GDP, this national trend will directly impact local businesses and the overall economy. The reported probability of losing a job remains above levels seen in the lockdowns of 2020. The perception of risk, even if not fully reflected in the current job numbers, can lead to cautious consumer behavior right here in Barrie. So for Barrie and Simcoe County, even though we've seen uptick in home sales, the broader economic picture suggests a period of adjustment. High rates, shifting rental market, and cautious consumers mean that we're in for a nuanced real estate market for the remainder of 2025. Rate cuts are on hold, the rental market is softening, and consumers are facing higher mortgage interest rate payments. Understanding these market dynamics will help you make an informed decision. What are your thoughts on where the Barrie housing market is headed? Let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more local insights into the Barrie and Simcoe County real estate market.